Why shouldn't she? They're doing a genocide.
Why shouldn't she? It's not a genocide. It is factually not a genocide.
Well, the South African government, the Irish government, the Spanish government, the Belgian government disagrees with you. Oh, you know better than them, do you? Okay.
Yeah, they're wrong. They're wrong.
All right. Who asked you? What do you know? You obviously don't. You're out of your depths.
You're out of your depths. Franck Magennis, a barrister representing Hamas, has put forward an application to remove Hamas as a listed terrorist organisation. He discusses this with Talktv's Peter Cardwell. A very interesting conversation. Peter puts forward his personal arguments. However, Frank, using his legal expertise, straightens Peter out, not from a personal standpoint, but from a legal standpoint. Let's take a look.
Am I getting it clear, and tell me if I'm wrong, that you believe that Hamas have a right to use armed force to represent their position?
You keep asking me what I believe, which again is it's not quite as blatant and disgusting as your previous question. But
what's interesting
it's not about what I believe.
Hamas said, well, I mean, you're representing these people and you've chosen to do so, so presumably it has something to do with what you believe.
Do you not understand how the legal system works?
Yes, I do, and I understand that you didn't have to take the case. If I were a lawyer and if someone came to me, I would say there's not in a million years would I represent Hamas. They are a disgusting, horrendous, anti-Semitic, dreadful terrorist organisation. That's what I would say. You didn't say that, and I'm very interested as to why.
Because you're trying to make the story about me instead of this important application because you're not a serious journalist, is that right?
The hour of judgment shall not come until the Muslims fight the Jews and kill them. So what the Jews hide behind trees and stones, and each tree and stone will say, O Muslim, O servant of Allah, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him, except for a specific tree, which is the tree of Jews. There is no solution for the Palestinian question except through jihad. That is what Hamas believe, and I would not represent an organisation that believed that, and you have chosen to.
Where's that quote from?
The first one is from the Hamas Charter Article 7, and the second one is from Hamas Charter Article 13.
Which year was that charter passed in?
I don't have it in front of me.
You don't know, do you? You're out of your depth, aren't you?
Out of my depth, right. Well, I'll tell you what Ismail Haniyeh said.
You're quoting a document from 1988, right? And it's clear that that document has been widely criticised.
So Hamas doesn't want to kill Jews then? Hamas doesn't want to destroy the state of Israel? Is that what you're saying?
Let me just respond. So that document you're referring to is the 1988 Charter. I know you don't know what you're talking about, which is fine. You're allowed to be a bit out of your depth. There's 600 pages of supporting evidence in this application, and you've not had a chance to read it. I, of course, have worked on it extensively. So it's fair enough that there's an asymmetry here. Like, I'm not trying to trick you. It's just you're quoting a document that's more than 30 years out of date.
Well, let me tell you what was said in 2023 by Ismail Haniyeh. Let me tell you what the Hamas senior leader, Ismail Haniyeh, said on the loss of civilian life in Gaza.
Perhaps you're deliberately misleading your viewers. Have you read?
I don't think any of my viewers are under any misapprehension about what Hamas stands for. I don't think you're under any misapprehension.
You just misled them. You didn't tell them about the 2017 Charter. Why didn't you? Because you don't know what you're talking about.
On the 26th of October,
it's okay to admit that you're ignorant. That's fine.
On the 26th of October, the Hamas senior leader Ismail Haniyeh, commenting on the loss of civilian life in Gaza, said, "The blood of the women, children, and elderly. We are the ones who need this blood, so it awakens within us the revolutionary spirit." We also have Ghazi Hamid on the 24th of October 2023 saying that he would repeat the 7th of October attacks time and again until Israel is annihilated. I don't see a huge difference between that and what was said in 1988, I must say. What
became of Ismail Haniyeh?
Well, we know what became of him because Israel assassinated him.
All right. All of these things are addressed extensively in the application. It's of course correct that Hamas should have to answer to things that they say and do, and they do extensively in the application. I encourage people to read it. It will cast light on the subject in a way that you're not even pretending to do. You're not trying to have a dialogue with me about what's actually happening. You're talking across me and trying to
How would you characterise what Hamas is doing if not terrorism? How would you characterise it?
Well, the whole point that's being made in the argument, in the application, is that the definition of terrorism is extremely broad. And so basically any organisation that thinks that their strategy is best advanced by the use of armed struggle will be caught by that definition. That's a central part of the whole application. Does that make sense?
It does make perfect sense to me, but what I would wonder is how you can argue that Hamas isn't a terrorist organisation if the definition is so broad.
Well, by that logic, Israel's a terrorist organisation. Do you agree?
No.
Well, think about it. Come on, man, think it through. If you agree the definition is very, very broad, then the Secretary of State could say, right, clearly it applies to Israel.
But you said it about Hamas.
They're doing a genocide.
But you're arguing the counter to this.
Violent. I'm going to say that the IDF is a terrorist organisation. She could do that if she wanted. She literally could. Why shouldn't she? They're doing a genocide.
Why shouldn't she? It's not a genocide. It is factually not a genocide.
Well, the South African government, the Irish government, the Spanish government, the Belgian government disagrees with you. Oh, you know better than them, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're wrong. They're wrong.
All right. Who asked you? What do you know? You obviously don't. You're out of your depth. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. I think that, the phenomenal submissions that we saw in the South African genocide case are far more persuasive than any of the sort of ridiculous talking points that you're propagating here. It's okay, mate. You're allowed to not know what you're talking about, but why don't you just admit it? You're viewers. You don't know what you're talking about. You're out of your depth. Everyone can see it.
Frank, thanks for your help. That's Franck Magennis there. He's a barrister at Garden Court.